Hi, friends. It's me, Christiana Gaudet. I am live on my Facebook business page. It's Saturday. That means it is time for the Saturday Psychic Sampler. That is the time when you ask me specific questions and I will give you specific answers. If you are watching an archive, thank you so much for being here. Obviously, I will not be able to answer your questions if I am no longer broadcasting live. But if you listen, you might hear something that sounds like wisdom for you as well. You know, the whole idea of the psychic gallery or the group tarot readings is that if you can hear it and it makes sense to you, then it is also a message for you. Before we get started, I just want to remind you that tomorrow, Sunday at 4 p.m., on my YouTube channel, Christiana Gaudet, we have a tarot meetup. We'll be there for an hour. We do readings. We do some tarot study. It's fun. It's informal. It's free. So join me there. And I'm just 100 people away from hitting my 2,000 subscriber mark. So if you have not subscribed to Christiana Gaudet on YouTube, please do. And while you are there, hop on over to Starcast, Staarcast. That is the video version of the podcast that celebrates StarCon. So subscribe there as well. Now, before we get going, I do also want to remind you about StarCon. Tickets are available now. We have a ticket price range that is pretty phenomenal, from $4.99 with all the bells and whistles to $5, where you can take 8 classes that are on the public track and also spend time in our lounges and in the exhibitor hall. It is an entirely virtual conference. You're not going to be able, even if you get the whole conference, you're not going to be able to see all the classes at once because we sometimes have 2, 3, or 4 things going on at the same time, so you have to choose. But that's okay because you will have 30 days to watch everything you missed. That's going to be helpful too if you're in a different time zone, so you don't have to get up in the middle of the night or whatever in order to take the classes live. You can take them at your leisure over the next 30 days. So please do plan on joining us at StarCon, and you can go to the website, staarcon.com. All right, let's get going, friends. I see that many of you are already here, and I thank you so much for being here. And what we're looking for is really specific questions. The more specific, the better. This is not a time to ask what the universe wants you to know. We do that on other days. This is a time to really get in there and try to answer your specific questions. So let's do that. Okay, so Avni is the first question. How will the next year be for me? Okay, not the best example of a specific question. A year has 12 months. There's a lot that's going to happen in that year, right? But what comes up specifically is, this can be a year where you have a lot of opportunity for healing of body, mind, and spirit. But the lesson really is going to be about putting your energy where your energy can do some good and not sort of banging your head against a wall to try to make things happen that aren't going to happen anyway. And you could probably start working on that right now. All right, Misty Foster, I want to know if I should move on from my relationship. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get what I need from it. What a great question. And again, I'm going to ask you to be very specific, because if we're sitting down in a reading for an hour, I don't really want your question at all because it's all going to come up. Whatever's there is going to come up. But if I have 3 minutes or less to do your reading, don't make me spend a minute of that trying to figure out what the heck you're trying to ask. Now, I'm not saying that about Misty's question. Misty's question is very good. But I see some questions coming through that I'm not really going to be able to understand even. So make sure you are as specific as you can. Misty's question is a good example. I want to know if I should move on from my relationship. I'm not sure I feel I'm going to be able to get what I need from it. What a good question. And the answer is, there are ways that you're very attached together, and there are ways that you really care about each other. In the short run, this has been a good relationship in a lot of ways. However, I think you're exactly right. I don't see this as a long-term, I don't see this as a long-term thing. And so if you're comfortable with Mr. Right Now, this is a great Mr. Right Now. But I think you and I are both clear that this is not Mr. Right. And so should you move on, that's up to you. But, if you feel like you don't want to be investing in a relationship that doesn't really have a long-term future, then by all means, move on, right? And when we look at your love life in the future, it's hard to let go of. Because I feel like throughout the course of your life, you have not always really received what you needed in terms of emotional support. And so it feels like even a little is better than none. But if you want the right thing, you're going to have to move on, and you're going to have to be strong and lean on your friends. And ultimately, I think you'll find the right relationship. Okay, Denise Davis. Oh, what a good question. What should I get my boyfriend for Christmas? He is the man who has everything. What a great question. It's nice to see you, Denise. Honestly, in normal times, I would say get him an experience. A vacation or golfing or going to that place where you fly in the turbines or, some kind of an experience. But given that we're in the middle of a pandemic, I'm not sure that would work. But I still feel like something that he could experience, because you're right, he has whatever he needs. And if he wants something else, he's going to go buy it. So get him something that gives him an experience, something that teaches him something that he can do, something the two of you can do together. That really seems to be the thing. And so if it's not like an out of the house experience, what could you get him that he could do or create at home? Okay. Okay, Tina Strayhorn. Okay, so these how will the next year be for me questions. I'm going to answer this one, but I don't feel like these are specific questions, and I don't feel like it's incredibly helpful to try to look at 12 months with just a couple of cards. You want to know about your next year, book an hour-long reading with me and we'll get into it. But let's see what the cards say about Tina Strayhorn's upcoming year. Honestly, there's going to be some big changes this year, my friend. And some of that you may be a little resistant to. But these changes will lead you to a better financial situation, to more happiness and feeling like you are in more power in your life. So I feel like for you, the next year is not going to be easy, but it will be good. It will be good because it will get you to where you need to be. Okay, Claire Wetzler, what is going on with my stepdaughter and her mother? Let's take a look. Okay, so for all the tarotists in the room, this is a nice teachable moment because this is your classic third-party question, which some people automatically will not do. I absolutely will when it impacts the querent, and this certainly does impact the querent because Claire has her stepdaughter's best interest at heart and is often responsible for her stepdaughter. So when we look at what's going on here, I'm afraid that your stepdaughter's mother is very manipulative. And I'm afraid she's trying to manipulate something here. And she's going to swear her daughter to secrecy. And there's not a lot you can do, but I can tell you it's not good and it's manipulative. And I think it's about angling for something that the two of them will do together, which is fine. But if she's not the primary custodian, there's questions here. So right now, there's not much you can do. Keep an eye on it. You don't want to put yourself in the position of getting between the two of them. But you also know that sometimes the mother sets the daughter up in a way that does not is not helpful. But you know what? I hate to say this, but the daughter's going to have to learn that on her own because she's going to be dealing with her mother for the rest of her life. And so she's going to have to learn how to navigate that. So watch and look for ways to be helpful and supportive. But beyond that, there's not much you can do. Okay, Betty, nice to see you. Will the physical therapy be helpful for my mother? As long as she actually does it. You know, that's the thing. She has to do it. And I think they're going to give her exercises to do on her own. If she is proactive, if she does it, it will be helpful. But I think it's going to be difficult. And I think her motivation is maybe not what it could be. And so I'm afraid she won't get as much out of it as she could. If there's anything you could do to help supervise her or help motivate her, that would be ideal. Okay. Jill Pitts, here's a specific question. Should I reboot the group or let it go? Let's take a look. You know, I could make an argument either way. If you reboot it, you're going to remember all the reasons that you haven't been doing it. You know, you're going to need to do it a different way. You're going to want new rules, new boundaries if you do it. What would the benefits of it be? I don't know. Damned if I know, really. And I guess as I look at that, you know, and that's a great question. Like if you're really not sure if you should do something, if you ask what are the benefits and you can't come up with a clear benefit, then maybe don't do it. And that's where I'm sitting with this, Jill. At first, you know, maybe, but now as I look at it, I don't see a clear benefit to you to do it. So I'm going to say, let it go. And there's a process for you. Okay. And nice to see all of you. Thanks so much for being here. Jesse Perkins. Thinking hard on a major purpose. Things fall into view. Will it happen, this major purchase, this major purchase? Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I think you can make it happen. And as long as you do it carefully and thoughtfully, I think it's a good thing. Yes. And I want to remind everyone, this is the Saturday Psychic Sampler. So that means specific questions. If you've asked for a card, if you've asked, what does Spirit want me to know or what I should focus on? I'm not answering those today. That's for another day. Today, we want specific questions only. That's what we do here on Saturdays. Okay, here's a specific question from Lauren Elizabeth. So nice to see you. Should Lily get a flight to come home tomorrow from SFO? Right, because they're locking down there. I feel like if she doesn't come home, she might not make it home for Christmas, which I assume would be a thing, right? So, should she fly home tomorrow or should she stay hunkered down? If she stays hunkered down, she'll be okay. But I feel like if the question is, you know, like if she doesn't get a flight tomorrow, what will happen? If she doesn't get a flight tomorrow, it might be harder for her to come home and it might be less safe. I think you both might feel more comfortable if indeed she comes home tomorrow. Okay. Very good. Hey, here's a question, Anita Stewart. Is the feminist movement where I need to be while working with politics? So that's such an interesting question because I notice the feminist movement is really fractured right now in a lot of ways, as is everything else, right? Everything's fractured. And honestly, Anita, you are a feminist. You are a feminist. And so whether you're with the movement or not, everything you do, Anita, you do from a feminist perspective, right? But should you be organizing with feminists? You know, Anita, I feel like you don't necessarily want to align yourself. I mean, you have your values and you know what your values are, but you have concerns that are, you know, across a gamut. And I don't think you want an organization telling you what your primary concerns should be. You want to be able to work on the concerns you want to work on when you want to work on them. So affiliate with whoever you want to affiliate with. But I think ultimately you have to drive your own motivations here. Okay, Donna, what about home health? So this is a question I don't understand. Are you asking if you should work in home health? Are you asking if you should bring home health into your house? Are you asking about the health of your home, very literally? I have no idea what the question is. I'm going to pull a card and give you an answer, but I don't know what that question means. I'm assuming it might be about bringing someone into the house to help with a family member's health issue. That's my intuition. That's my guess. And, in my mind, it all comes down to a financial question. Can you fund it? Number one. And number two, and this is just, it shows up in the cards and it's what I know from my own experience. I know of 3 situations where people who are unwell and don't go out but have gotten COVID from their health aides because their health aides are out partying and then go to work. So I think if that's what you're looking at, it's an interesting question, I'd like to see you get some relief, but I'm just not sure. Oh, Joe, I'm so sorry. My dad is going on a ventilator today for his lungs. They're not doing well. What will happen and what will happen to me? So, at this point, rather than predicting, I'm all about prayer. I'm all about prayer. I really feel like when we talk about these kinds of things, rather than predictive, in terms of how things are going to go, I think when there's life, there's hope, and there always is. And so let's all put our prayer, our magic, and our energy toward his recovery. When we look at him, healing is possible here. I mean, you and I both know what the risks are and how it could go. It could go a lot of different ways. But as long as healing is possible, let's put our energies toward healing. If it doesn't go the way you want, you've got the rest of your life to grieve. So don't grieve yet. Put your energy toward healing because healing is possible. What will happen to you? Joe, you are a strong, capable, creative person. You will be fine no matter what. But the thing is, you don't always know that. And I think you get into a mindset sometimes, Joe, where you just feel defeated. And I think we all get that way from time to time. That's life, and these are difficult times, and you're going through a personally very difficult thing. What I need to say to you is to remember that you are loved, to remember that you are strong, to remember that you are good, and no matter how your life changes, you will be fine. Okay, Fatima, what should I do about other people's emotional outbursts? I know I'm not perfect, but this person is not trying to get better, and I see them often enough. It's an issue since they talk about other people we both know. Do I walk away? But how long and how completely? It's so hard, man. And remember, none of us are at our best right now. Not one single person on this planet is at their very best for a lot of different reasons. And so in this particular situation, what you need to do is be as loving to yourself as you can and to remember that you love this person, even though they're acting a fool. And do not put up your energy barrier, smile and nod, and don't participate. Don't encourage it. But also try not to personalize it. Try to not take it personally. In a lot of ways, this is about you developing your own strength of self, really. Because you know what? If we are strong in ourselves and we believe in ourselves and we know ourselves, not anything anyone else can say to us can get next to us. And I know it's hard because we all take things personally, and it's hard when it's someone you care about. But we all need to be that strong right now. Okay. Jean, my question is whether someone who was a friend acquaintance in the past 25 years ago may turn into a romantic partner. Well, I know a great psychic who has been predicting a romantic partner for you for a long time. Okay, let's see. Let's see what we see. This particular person. Is it possible that this could be that? Unclear at this moment. When I look at this person, this person has very fond memories from the past and probably does have an interest in this way. But this person may have a lot of issues, So at this point, just get to know this person again and see. But I am doing a happy dance that you're open to romance, because one way or the other, Jeannie, romance is coming for you. I'm not sure it's this person, but it's going to happen. So let's see how it happens. Okay. Renee, nice to see you. What do the cards say about my current spiritual path? Okay, that's borderlining on not specific, but I'm going to go for it. And I know you've been struggling with this for a while, Renee. And the reason is because you're very multicultural in your belief system. And you have a lot of different practices that don't all necessarily go together. So whatever group of people you might hang out with, they're going to have different beliefs than you. And so I know how hard that is. But when we look at, what's up here, all I can tell you is this. Spirit is big. Spirit is a lot bigger than religion. And you get to pick and choose what resonates for you, the way Spirit speaks to you, the way you feel it, the way you see it. Spirit is big enough for that. And it will be constantly evolving. It is not a set of beliefs that you stick with forever and ever and ever. That is the path of the very limited. Really, what spirituality is and should be for all of us is this opportunity to explore and grow. I think that your basic ethics will stay the same, but I think that as long as your spiritual path allows you to question and allows you to grow and allows you to honor Spirit the way Spirit presents to you, you're all good. Okay, Varnica, when will we renovate our house? And the answer is, I think you're going to want to do it sooner. I think it's going to happen in 2021, and I think it will go very well, but it will not be as quickly into the year as you would like. Okay, Sandra Renee McLeish, will we be able to build a house on our 5-acre property? And if so, when? And the answer is, I feel like there might be some code stuff or some zoning stuff or, something of that nature that you're going to have to get settled. There's also money involved. Hey, Kimberly Bonk, yes, I'm live right now. There's also the money piece of it as well. Will you be able to do it? It doesn't look soon. It looks like it's going to take some finagling. And honestly, there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee, quite frankly. So I would say go forward trying to figure out what you have to do, but recognize this may not be the path for you. Amelia Lord, so nice to see you. Haven't seen you in a long time. What should I do about the course I'm about to teach and going in that direction with my career? So here's the thing, Amelia. Like your mother, and please give her my love, you have a very strong spirit toward wanting to do what has the most integrity, toward what feels most right. And there's compromises that you're going to have to make here, and you're not going to like those compromises, but do it anyway for the greater good and for the long-term good. Make the compromises you have to make in order to go forward. when we look at your career going in this direction, it is ultimately a good thing. It's not going to be the only thing you do. You are multi-talented, but it will be successful. That's what you need to know, really. Hey, Michelle Welsh, nice to see you here. Okay, Sarah Madsen. People always like me and I make friends easily, but I always have a hard time keeping friends. What can I do to have more deeper friendships, or am I just destined to have a few, like 1 to 2 close friends? You know, there's this saying that if you have 5 close friends in the course of your entire lifetime, you're lucky. And so, you know, anyone who says, oh yes, I've got lots and lots of close friends is either shallow or lying. That's a fact for not just you, for everybody. But let's take a look. I think for you, people you're really, really, really going to trust, you have to really get to know them and see how they operate. And I would say that what you're dealing with here is not abnormal, it's appropriate. And, you know, you might end up, instead of 1 or 2 close friends, you might have 3, 4, or 5, but enjoy your friendly acquaintances and recognize that it's good to have friendly acquaintances that you can chill with and have fun with. But then there are your ride or die people, and there are only going to be a few of those for all of us, really. Okay, Julia. Ultimately, I'd like to know, hey, Julia Quatrano, it's nice to see you. I'd like to know if I should be searching for work in the medical field. I want to be happy and feel motivated. Should I put more time into my passion like art? You know, I don't think this is an either or question. I think the medical field is a good field for you, and it's a field you've already been in. And I feel like getting stable with that would be really, really, really good for you. I also feel that you have talent where art is concerned, and putting some energy there would be very healing and ultimately could also be career for you. But it's not an either or thing, it's a do them both thing. Why not both? Really. SG Frendel, my cards have been telling me I'm missing something obvious, but I'm too close to see it apparently. Do you see what I'm not seeing? I can tell you it's about patience, and I can tell you it's about healing. Whether it's your own healing, a layer of healing that you have not done, that's kind of where I'm going with it. I'm going there. I feel like it's about your own healing, and I feel like you need to be patient with it. But you know, healing, personal healing is always like an onion. You pull away layer after layer after layer, and you're getting ready to come to another layer, and you want to pretend you're not, but you are. And Michelle's agreeing with me regarding the third-party questions. Yes. Okay, Barrett. After buying an engagement ring recently, what should I get Karen for Christmas? And by the way, for those of you who have not been following this story, she said yes. So, you know, you could have held on to it and given it to her for Christmas and fed 2 birds with one hand. Don't you love that expression? Rather than saying killed 2 birds with 1 stone, fed 2 birds with 1 hand. I love that. Anyway, but I think it was good that you got engaged when you did. Your cards were really saying, you know, put a ring on it now. So I'm glad you did. So what do you get her for Christmas? I'm going to say not jewelry. I'm going to say something fun and something that you can do. You know, like if you play video games together, a video game she would really like, or, you know, something like that. Something that you do and something fun and something that is about the life together that you already have. Okay. Hey, Sandy Stokey, glad you're here. Brandy. I know you couldn't wait, Barrett, and I'm glad you did it when you did it. You did well. Brandy, will my stepmother ever consider me a part of her again? Oh man, that's a sad question. I'm sorry for what you're going through. And the answer is, you know, be patient and recognize the issue is with her, not with you. She has a lot of pretty serious emotional issues. Try not to take it personally, but the thing is you can't trust her. Even if she does welcome you back, you're going to have to embrace it, but carefully, because she's the kind of person who'll throw you under the bus again. So, now that you've seen how she is, recognize it and recognize it's on her, not you. Neil, should I go to Florida to be with my wife for Christmas? So any other year, I would say, of course, you're not even asking that question, But this is a weird year, right? If you go to Florida for Christmas, I do feel like it would be hard to stay home without her. Why can't she come home? I don't know, man. I have questions about this whole thing. Just because I feel like for the next month or two, travel risks are going to be high. They are. And I also feel like Florida it's hard to get good numbers in Florida, but Florida's not doing great. Like Connecticut's doing better, than Florida right now anyway. And so I'm going to throw that question back at you, Neil, and say, of course, you and Tammy should be together for the holiday. And she probably shouldn't travel. She really shouldn't. If she's in Florida, she should probably stay there because she's at greater risk. But if you go there, would you be putting her at risk? There's a lot of questions there. This depends entirely on what your risk tolerance level is. Looking at the cards as I see it, if I were you, I'd say let's do Christmas later and let's hunker down and be safe. That's what I would do, but I have like zero risk tolerance, and that's me. So you got to call this one for yourself. Okay, Vijayeta, will we be able to plan the New Year's party with the limited people? Yeah, I think you can find ways to do it safely and appropriately, but be careful, better to be on the safe side. Michelle Welsh, this is awesome. Coming from Roger. How many tickets to StarCon for our staff? And so this gives me a great moment to take a break and give you a commercial break about StarCon. Remember that StarCon is our new annual tarot conference. Whether you're just interested in tarot and just learning, or whether you're a professional or anyone in between, StarCon is for you. It's going to be fully online this first year in January, so you don't need to travel. We are on a robust platform called Accelavance, and it's wonderful. So everyone should consider coming, even if you just have a passing interest in tarot. You're going to find this really interesting. So to answer your question, how many tickets for the staff? I would say, depending on, you really want to do this on one hand, it's a real perk for the staff, right? On the other hand, like if you've got some part-time person who's not really into it, you don't necessarily want to waste the budget. Although I'm like, bring them on, get everyone a ticket. Of course, we want them all. But honestly, I would say the employees who are really going to benefit from it, and by benefiting from it, be a benefit to the shop. And everyone's Soultopia is going to be a live vendor in our exhibition hall. And so you're going to be able to see that store and shop live in real time from wherever you are in the world. We have the technology, and it's going to be amazing. And so use this as a way of getting them invested, getting them on board, getting them excited. I would say between 4 to 6, somewhere in there is probably going to be the right number. And thanks for that opportunity to do a commercial. Hey, Provi, you are here. Very good. Cheryl, will my sinuses improve this week? Oh, Lord. I hate sinus problems. Oh, you think it's really a small part of your body until it starts to act up, and then it feels like it's your whole body. I am so sorry you're having these problems. And I feel like you're going to find some kind of new treatment, and it's going to really, really help this week. Princess Samantha, what is Nicholas thinking about you today? Honestly, I feel like his mind is kind of on other things right now. He's busy. He's got a lot going on. He doesn't have bad feelings about you, but I think he's very focused on some things he's got going on. Jackie Masters, I've been out of sorts for a long time now and it's getting worse. What do I need to do to bring balance back into my life? I'm sorry. I am so sorry, Jackie. Oh, Michelle, right, 4 to 6. Yeah, exactly. It's a great perk. It really is. So fabulous. Okay. So out of sorts for a long time and it's getting worse. So Jackie, how much of this is COVID stuff? How much of this is family stuff? How much of this is work stuff? How much of this is your own sensitive nature being psychic and therefore picking up all the craziness of the world? I feel like it's all of those things and maybe more. Drink plenty of water, get plenty of exercise. You've got a lot of sort of negative thinking going on. And so when you have those thoughts, acknowledge it, accept it, don't shame yourself for whatever you might be thinking, but then try to move on to the next best thought. And try to connect with your friends. Even if you can't get out and about with them, try to Zoom with them, try to spend time connected with people. Oh, and come to StarCon. Seriously, that would help. But I feel like you are actually dealing, when we look at everything, you're actually dealing with some real healing. And so maybe look at how you're feeling right now as an opportunity for healing. Okay. Sonia, is tarot going to be a successful field for me to continue to pursue? Honestly, here's the thing. Pursue it first for your love of it. And if you pursue it for your love of it, then it will be successful. If you pursue it for the money first, you'll never get anywhere with it. None of us will. It just doesn't work that way. Okay. Kimberly Bonk, my friend, I'm so happy to see you and cannot wait till I can come back to the Tampa area again and see you in person. Mixed feelings about an old friend. What is real? You have a shared history with this friend, and that is valuable. The shared history is valuable. On the other hand, it feels like this friend is going off the deep end in some way. I feel like this friend is not as this friend once was. I think you still have to love this friend and pray for this friend, but maybe don't spend so much time with this friend while this friend is taking a trip into Crazy Town. Does that make sense? Karen Alcorn. Some friends of mine want to do a new moon ritual. I'm a little nervous. I'm a solitary and not used to groups. Will I be a benefit? Should I go with the flow or should I give advice? Remember, this is a first-time thing. I don't want to be a know-it-all. I understand. So if asked, give opinion. Definitely do it. As a practicing solitary myself, I can tell you, I love my solitary practice, but when I can get together with my friends and do circle, it is a wonderful, wonderful thing. You're not making a commitment to do this all the time. You're making a commitment to doing it once and seeing how it goes, and then maybe again. I feel like I feel like you should do it, and you should be honest. You should express, the fact that you're interested but nervous and would like to be helpful but don't know how to be helpful. And just be completely honest. That's, what's that old Wiccan thing? How do you walk into the circle? In perfect love and perfect trust. How do you do it in perfect trust? By being perfectly honest. There it is. Linda Rogers, I saw a picture of you on Facebook with your holiday tree that I really loved. I'd love to ask, will my new home bring me happiness, love, and success? Moved here 10 days ago and I love it. And I predicted that this would be successful. So what do we think about it now? Yeah, I think it's great. I'm very pleased. Very pleased, wishing you all the best and very excited about it. Okay, Esmeralda. Will I be getting a raise or go somewhere else in this coming year? I think honestly, you're going to do better to go somewhere else. Jackie, you're coming to StarCon. Yay. Excellent. I want to see you all at StarCon. It is going to be so much fun. Okay. Shannon, why was my friend Greg killed? So, that could be a very mundane question or a very spiritual question. If you're asking like what was the human motivation behind that or what the spiritual motivation behind that was, I'm going with the spiritual motivation. Why was he taken? And the answer is his soul was ready for the place of greater wisdom. And it's really hard. And that's not to say that it's okay or easy for the people around him or the people who love him. But it was his soul's need to ascend at that time. Okay. So from my perspective, I have now answered every question I have seen. If I've missed your question, or if you wanted to rephrase a question, or if you've been here watching and haven't asked a question, now is the time. I'm going back into my shameless self-promotion mode. And so now's your final chance to get a question in on this Saturday Psychic Sampler. First of all, I want to thank you all so much for being here. If you haven't liked this page, please do. And please like this video. I appreciate it. So what? I am running a holiday special just this weekend. Today, tomorrow, have an hour session with me this weekend, and you get a 15-minute gift certificate to give as a gift or to keep. Okay, Shannon, go further. What was the personal motivation for Greg's death? Of whom? Lay that out for me. That's a heavy topic. I want to handle it correctly. So lay it out for me. Again, if we had an hour to sit together and work through this, we would. But in this setting, lay it out so that I can, that's not something I want to do in a flippant way. Let's put it that way. It's serious. Okay, there we go. Okay, the person who killed him, why did they do it? Well, it looks a lot to me to come from immaturity, anger, and some feeling that this was going to make things better, which of course it did not. This does not seem like a sane and calculated move. It seems like something coming out of immature anger and perhaps some mental illness. Some thought of personal gain coming from this. But not, it was certainly not very well thought out. Let's put it that way. This person was not well. Okay. Tina, how should I handle the roommates who are behind on the rent? Oh, I hate it when that happens. Honestly, I think you're going to have to be very clear. You can be nice about it, and you're going to have to tell them that, like, we're roommates. Putting me in this position of having to be your badass landlord is not fair. It's not fair to any of us. Find a solution or move out. It's unfortunate that they've put you in this situation. I'm really sorry. Do I think they will pay up? The thing is, I think they can. I think they can pay. And that's the thing. If there was really no way for them to find the money, that would be a different thing. But I think they're taking advantage to some extent. Okay. Jeannie Layton. Jeannie Layton. I had an epiphany the other day to do a total shift in career and life. It's been a heavy year. Am I thinking along roads of wanting change or needing change? Yeah, well, it's been a heavy year through no fault of your own. There was COVID. You started out this year on your way to Reader Studio, and then you had COVID and your husband in the hospital and all other kinds of stuff. It's been tough. And what you have to know is you did great. You did great responding to what the year threw at you, which is really the best you can do in the moment. I think the shift that you're looking for is good. I think it's good. I think it's fine. I think it's wonderful, but give yourself some credit for how you got through this year. In my mind, that's the important thing. And come to StarCon. Just saying. All right, friends, thank you so much. So, special, have an hour-long reading today or tomorrow and get the 15-minute gift certificate for free. You can give it to someone for the holiday, or you can keep it for yourself for the next time you need a spot check. StarCon tickets are on sale right now. STAARCON.com. Go there, look at it, see what we got going on. It's amazing. And you know what? I'm going to be adding like 4 new things to the schedule this week. That'll probably tie it up. That'll probably be the static schedule at that point. But yeah, we're adding even more. And a lot of what we're adding, I'm going to tell you what we're adding. It's not on the schedule yet. Kabbalistic pathworking and 2 different sessions about the business aspect. So for those of you who are professional, there's more there. And we're going to have some lunchtime dinner theater, a specially written and produced play about tarot. So fun, so interesting. I'm so excited for that. I also want to remind you that we're having our tarot meetup on YouTube, my YouTube channel, Christiana Gaudet. Go there, subscribe. We'll be there live tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. We're there for an hour sharing readings and tarot study together. It's free, it's fun, it's fabulous. Join us. I'd love to see you there. I'll be back Monday with your 3-card weekly reading. And over on the StarCon Facebook page, Amy Mauser will be live there tomorrow with your Stargazer Sunday meditation. Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much. Okay. Fatima, mental illness isn't the issue just because bad people make decisions and follow impulses to act badly. Well, I think that's an important point because most people who have mental illness do not kill people. On the other hand, very often, poor impulse control can be a part of a psychiatric diagnosis for sure. And so, it cuts both ways there. It's a thing. And the thing is, while we're talking about it, I don't know that I believe that there are bad people. I don't know that I believe that. I don't believe in bad people. I think all people are basically good people. If I have learned anything from being a full-time tarot reader for all these years and reading for all the different people I have read for, I have never read for a bad person. I've read for people that I disagreed with. I've read for people who I thought weren't treating other people well, but their intentions, either they weren't thinking clearly, they weren't thinking correctly, but they weren't bad. So I have to push back on the idea that there are bad people. And I think that's the problem in our country right now and in our world, is we're trying to make the idea that people who are behaving differently than we're comfortable with or than we like are bad. And it sure feels bad to me, some of it, and it feels bad to you. But I think if we come at it that way, we're never going to solve anything. So I'll get off my soapbox now, but that's what I have to say about that. I don't believe in the eternal struggle between good and evil, and I don't believe in bad people. There it is. Some people are dangerous. There are dangerous people. There are people I wouldn't want to have dinner with and people I wouldn't want to know. But, there it is. So I think those are some things we're all going to have to be thinking about as we find a way forward on the planet. So that's I'll get off my soapbox now. And I want to say thank you to all of you. Do reach out. Remember my website, tarotbychristiana.com. Oh, and one more thing. I am teaching a class on Zoom on Thursday, Tarot Stories, Trends, and Blends. If you want to look at how to put the cards together to tell the story, how do they behave together in a reading, you want this class, you can get your ticket right here on my Facebook page. Go to the events or go to my website, tarotbychristiana.com, and get your ticket there. Again, just go to the events. Thank you so much. I hope to I hope to learn how to talk, and I hope to see you at the meetup tomorrow. Take care.